Hello everyone, welcome to the Ignition event. My name is Arseny and I'm thrilled to be here again on site. For many, this Ignition event is the initiation to the deep tech world, as it was once for me. So for you to know what to expect and how to get the most out of it, let me welcome 3 participants of the past Ignition events, now founders of deep tech startups. And please welcome them here on stage with me. So first, I would like to invite our amazing, positive, and ambitious Aya Puope. Actually, Aya joined our very first masterclass series, organized together with Riga Business School and the Investment and Development Agency of Latvia, and she decided to use this knowledge practically and start her own deep tech startup. She joined our 16th Ignition event, and now she has her own deep tech startup. She's a CEO and co-founder of TerraWaste. Hi, Aya.
Hi.
Good to see you here with us. As a second panelist, I would like to invite our 11th Ignition event resident, a smart and experienced entrepreneur who has been a part of our community for quite a long time, Reinis Spunde. Reinis is co-founder and CEO of Catalico. Hi, Reini.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here.
Superb. And we have a third panelist online, straight from the hopefully sunny UK, Dr. Nikolaos Georgopoulos, Associate Professor in Cell Biology at the University of Huddersfield and co-founder of Veritascell. Hi, Nick.
Hello, hi, how lovely to see you all, and thank you for your invitation.
Great to see you. Actually, we were at the same Ignition event because we are in the same startup, Veritascell. Nick is our Chief Science Officer, and it was 13th Ignition event. So it was 2018, I reckon.
Yes, yep, it was. And the whole thing is bringing back some really nice memories. So.
Absolutely. So for us, 13 was a lucky number indeed.
It was, yes.
Right. So, dear panelists, to give a taste of what the Ignition has in store for the audience, entrepreneurs and scientists about to create the teams, what were your expectations and how it all played out for you at your Ignition events?
Yeah, I can start.
Aya, please.
Hello, everyone. So for me, the Ignition event, it was something unknown. I had never heard of Commercialization Reactor or the event itself, so I was at the same seat most probably as you were, right behind the screen of a computer and thinking, what the hell is that? And for me, it was the motivation of the master classes because the Commercialization Reactor actually motivated all of the graduates from that batch, if you will, to participate in the Ignition event. They said that this is going to be this amazing opportunity to create their own business. And that was a long dream of mine, actually, to have my own business. And I wasn't the best at creating ideas, so Ignition event was the perfect place for me to have some inspiration and see the other people's ideas that with my help could be turned into a business. So I didn't really expect much, but me sitting here has actually exceeded these expectations. So
Here we are, right? All right, how was it for you, Reini?
This experience was very interesting. I have been searching for technologies quite a long time and also tried to work with scientists and try to commercialize some technologies, but I found that it is quite difficult to find and interesting and good technologies. So that's why I already knew about Commercialization Reactor before the event where I participated, but this was a very good help to find a co-founder, a technology author to establish a team and a startup.
Right, and what did you expect and how did the expectation meet the reality? Was it like, was it something different from what you expected, or you got what you wanted, you found the technology, or there was something more else?
I wouldn't say that it was something really very different. It was kind of in line with the expectations. to look at different technologies, and one of them was particularly interesting for me. So.
Right. I'll ask you a question to all of you. How did you get together with the teams you got together with? But first, let us ask Nick, as a scientist, he was on the other side, as we would say. He was the one presenting the technology. So Nick, what were your expectations from the event and how it all played out for you?
Yeah, genuinely, I wasn't aware of the reactor or the platform. And so for us, as you say, I was on the other side. So you spend a lot of time developing the science that you do. And you know, we were very honest. We are scientists, but when it comes to the business side, we needed the help. And the event provided an excellent platform for this. So it was an opportunity for us to pitch it, but at the end of the day, it was a case of being asked the right questions and coming together with a team of people that would basically give us the opportunity to commercialize this, which is not what we know how to do. So yeah, it was great.
Right. I might be biased, but your presentation was quite good, almost entrepreneurial presentation, a pitch. But actually, yeah, that's true. So you came there with a task to find someone as a team member, right? That was your expectation. And I guess it played out quite well, didn't it? We did find a
Yes,
team.
played out extremely well. And you know, sometimes in life you have to have a bit of luck. So we found an excellent team of people. So and you will know if things work because you can see how you click. But I guess one thing for everyone to be aware of is, as you're starting to work with scientists, be prepared that some scientists have been in the opportunity to have some understanding of commercialization, but others don't. So, but it is the task of a scientist to start to accept what they don't know and what they need to learn, and have advice from the entrepreneurs. But the reactor itself helped so much from the very beginning where we were involved. So that helped us.
Right, and such open-mindedness actually helped, you know, to form a good team to focus on commercialization together. Great, thanks, Nick. Right, so talking about choosing technologies, what has been your approach, I and Rainy, as entrepreneurs? How did you choose your technologies? Was your background maybe connected somehow, or were you specifically looking for something? And how would you suggest approaching that to entrepreneurs in the following days?
Honestly, I approached it really subjectively, so like, dislike, first of all. Coming from a communication background myself, I'm not really a technical person, so for me listening to all the scientists' presentations was a little bit different level than I usually operate in. So yeah, that was the first, and then second was, you know, about what the technology could do. So I was actually fortunate that in my ignition event that I participated in, there were five technologies that I was really interested in, which I was forced to narrow down to two, and then between the two, I was paired up with my second choice in the beginning. So yeah, you can never know how it's going to happen. But anyway, I was really happy with my choice. And yeah, it was all about what that technology could do. And yeah, now me being a CEO of an environmental and waste management startup actually is a great honor and brings me a lot of happiness because, you know, we are actually going to solve a major problem that we have nowadays. So that was, a big playing point for me, why I chose this specific one.
Fantastic. Quite similar motivations actually to me as well. Those are like two things. So you kind of like the technology, but you also see what it can do. So actually that's one of the things that you could look at, what you feel would be interesting for you, but also that could create an impact. All those technology create impact in some way. You just kind of try to feel which way is closer to you, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it is very important to understand that if everything goes according to the plan, then you and your team are going to be spending a lot of time on this particular technology. And if you're not in it with your heart, then, that's definitely not the right one for you. So, yeah, this is where you should choose carefully, for sure.
Right. So it's not just about the money, for sure. Right.
Absolutely.
Good. Rainy, how was it for you? What was your approach to choosing the technology?
Yes, so at that ignition event, of course, I watched all the presentations, and I guess I had few favorites. with whom I then went to more in-depth discussions. But finally, I chose one, which seemed to me the most understandable, kind of most simple and understandable.
Fair enough.
Because I don't have a chemical background. I'm MBA, but my startup is in the chemical industry. So it is not of my knowledge about chemistry. But the presentation was quite very simple, understandable. The product seemed to be simple and understandable. And I think also the communication with scientists was very good. I think I am lucky with my scientist as well. So I think that played the main role for choosing.
Right. Superb. So we heard that part of the reasons why you choose was the communication with scientists, right? Communication within the team. And even though the main thing that the entrepreneurs choose are the technologies, still this team is important as well, right? So from your side, Nick, from a scientist side, you also got to decide who to work with, right? It's matchmaking in the end. So it wasn't like someone came to you, no connection, and you still have to work together. But still, you got to decide who to work with, right? Again, I might be biased, but maybe you could tell me a bit in more detail, and all of us, what was important for you as a scientist, having presented the technology and participating in the matchmaking? What was important for you to make it happen?
Yeah, I think it is very, very important to be able to tell from the beginning, as you are discussing, your work with the entrepreneurs. Is one thing from my personal experience was the team that approached us, the people that were interested, were asking the right questions. So we could tell that straight away. These were the people that were very interested in the idea. They could see the impact of it, and they were being asked the right questions was a very, very good sign that they will be able to help us. At the same time, one thing about working with people, I was reading recently, you're going to create a group of people and a team, but the team is not just a group of people working together, it's a group of people that are going to trust each other. So I could tell that the people that approached us were people that were going to be fun to work with. They were enthusiastic, they were asking the right questions. And remember, it's not an excuse for a scientist to say, oh, you better understand that. I told you what it is. No, it is my job to make it understandable. And then we were asked all the right questions. And the group of people we met was so enthusiastic and very positive. So we felt like trust was developing straight away.
Cool. Some nice words. But maybe let's get a bit deeper into that. What will be the right questions? Maybe you could reflect on that. What were some of the right questions that helped the team get on the same page?
Yeah, one thing I always believe in is the people that you meet might not be scientists, but they're bright people. So you're always going to be asked intelligent questions. So there were elements where, of course, some of the technologies, for example, you didn't have that much time to elaborate on. So one thing that we were asked was to sort of explain some of the detail, because that could have potentially affected the project, the business plan, or the next steps. Right. Another interesting set of questions were regarding the technology and possible other applications, which we had not thought of. So you could tell, there was a lot of really good questions being asked there for us in terms of understanding the technology, as well as possibilities that are out there, so the entrepreneurs could see the potential of this.
Right. Interesting. And actually, as I remember, one of the key topics maybe for us to explore from the entrepreneurial side was how the technology works exactly, because it's a medical technology connected with skin regeneration. So we had to understand on what the principles, the base principles, because we might not have been too deep in that topic, and those questions really helped us as well to understand the basic
Absolutely.
principles.
Absolutely. And some technologies are obviously easier for someone to relate to, or some of them are a little bit more complex. And as you said, our business idea, our project related to an opportunity to improve wound healing in patients all around the world. And it was a case of, okay, so how does it work? What do you actually do? Because when you develop the business, this could have regulatory implications. This could have business or profit-relating questions and impact, as well as opportunity to expand. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
These were very good questions.
Right, and another thing that helped us as well is to understand what the core competence of the team is, because there could be one invention, one kind of expression of that core competence, but also another question which helped us was to understand what the guys are competent with, what they're experts with. Maybe you guys remember also some questions that will help you get to the core of it, to understanding the technology and deciding that it's for you?
For us, yeah, the way I approached it was I went to the scientist, I said, look at me, I'm blonde, smiley and everything, which doesn't really necessarily leave a really high IQ view of the person, right? So explain me your technology as I was a 5-year-old, and this is actually the approach that really helped us, because we were climbing, like walking a mile in entrepreneurs' and investors' shoes. Like most of the investors are not going to be from the scientific field that you are in, most likely, like 90% of the time. So you have to comprehensively and not missing out any details, explain to this person, what does your technology do, what are the advantages, how do you differ from another technology that is in the same market as you are, not to degrade the scientific side, but to explain it comprehensively enough. So this was how I approached it, and yeah, in the end it worked out for the best, at least I think, since I can brag a little bit and say that I won the pitch competition in our Ignition event, so apparently I did a good job explaining, with a 5-year-old approach. So maybe that is something else that you can take from this. So yeah, that was the way we are going about everything nowadays, actually.
Yeah, you simplify.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Ready? Even though it was like 6 years ago or something, maybe you remember.
Yeah, I agree to Aya. This explanation, I think, is important, but not so much from the technical or scientific side, but more from the practical side, so that
also,
entrepreneurs can understand the practical view. But also I want to say that you need to look for the connection with those people, and I think that's the main thing in the very first event, because the technology and the application may change during the time. We, in our startup, we have, I think, pivoted a few times already, and we are not going the way that what was presented on the Ignition event. So connection with, to have the right connection with people, that's the key thing, I think.
Superb. Thanks for sharing. And then, Aya, I know that your Ignition event was entirely online, right? And it might be a norm nowadays, or at least hybrid, but it's different from face-to-face interaction, absolutely, with fellow participants, with entrepreneurs, and also with the scientists. But as today the whole day is online, and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, some participants will be online, maybe what will be your takeaways and suggestions what's important for communication online and working teams to ace it even online, specifically when working together online?
That is actually a really tough question, to be honest. Even though we are 2 years or coming out of the pandemic where everything is online or was online, I think the most important thing was, like openness and wanting to chat and to understand everything, just being open. Even if you have a glitch in the system and you are missing something, then you are catching up with other participants in order to understand what was happening, etc. What are the things that you missed. I did actually participate live in that event, but we had scientists that we had actually all of the scientists were presenting online, so it was rather surreal talking to like a computer because these scientists were actually online and answering all of the questions. So yeah, I would just suggest to be present as much as possible and to engage as much as possible, because yeah, as the host mentioned before, that the time is of essence, and if you're missing something, it might be a valuable thing, and yeah, you might not be able to catch on afterwards. So yeah, because I was so eager to participate in everything and every conversation that I had at the end of each day, I had such an enormous amount of knowledge that I consumed that, it helped me to make an informative and then a great decision regarding the technology that I would choose as well, taking apart the heart and all.
Absolutely. And we'll keep reminding you that, keep your camera on. That's
Yes.
important, because it shows that you're engaged as well, right?
Yeah, it's really hard to talk to a black screen.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And Nick, you already touched upon some things that you appreciated working with the entrepreneurial team, but maybe some other thoughts as well on what can make this cooperation successful, even though we were offline at that time, but maybe some other suggestions for both scientists and entrepreneurs, maybe to make this cooperation as good as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I said earlier, you can tell if the team is developing well and you're developing a good rapport and relationship with the team. You can trust their ability because you know they're asking the right questions. You have to show them that you're also honest. And you accept your own weaknesses as a scientist, so they know how to help you, and they can also ask the right questions. Being able to be able to respond to their questions is also very, very good. Quite often you have to go back, have a rethink, and answer the questions there. And the main thing to remember is that it's a constant process of. It's iterative, so you're going to be discussing a lot of things. We were lucky enough to be asked questions that we didn't expect, whether it was with regards to how the technology could be used, or different aspects where scientifically we can do, but from a practical point of view, as you're developing the technology, we had to also address. And as I said, trusting them, knowing what they can do, what they can offer. And again, I guess I said at the beginning that it is the scientist's obligation to make this understandable. I know one of your people there on the panel, you said, just make it really, really silly and very, very simple, and just for a 5-year-old. But at the beginning especially, it has to be to the point and understandable. So, but the trust is great. I think that was the most important thing.
Right. So you try to establish that trust early on to make the team work.
Absolutely. Right. Yep. It is just so important, because then you trust them and they trust your ability, and also they know that you're honest. Right. And one other thing is that sometimes, particularly because we had a relatively big team to start with, there were times when the sort of part of the team would meet separately, and then they will come back to you asking you more questions. And I love that, because I thought, give these guys the opportunity to discuss it together. Don't be paranoid. What are they discussing? What are they saying? I trust them 100%. And my job is to respond and be helpful.
Right. Right, and actually, on the other hand, right, we're always talking about this cross-table cooperation, entrepreneurs with scientists. But maybe, Rady, if you remember, of course, that was quite a long time, but maybe you remember, how did you make this work between entrepreneurs on the same side of the table work? Because those are strangers. You meet complete strangers at the same table. And first of all, it's matchmaking, where you ask questions, but then the second part is working together with complete strangers. How do you make that work on the entrepreneur side, Rady?
So I think my case was special because I was the only entrepreneur.
Also in the matchmaking, when you ask questions, right? Or?
Oh no, that in the event, there was other entrepreneurs, but finally I was one-on-one with my scientist, which was very good. But also now in the team, when we have a bigger team, it is very important to build a culture for the team, for the company, and to have common goals and values, so that we are everyone pursuing the same path, same goal.
Right. So you try to align with the team that you start working with, right? Okay, and Aya, how did you coordinate this, asking questions at first and then working together within the team on the projects here in the Ignition Event?
Yeah, I think it kind of came naturally. I mean, coming from different backgrounds, various type of people that were sitting at the table, it just happened. At least for me, it was a natural flow of questions. Somebody who had some idea about what to ask to the scientist, and the other one was like, "Oh yeah, I know, I can ask something more," and it's somehow developed that way. And I don't know, like for example, me. I didn't go to the Ignition event thinking that I'm going to be the CEO of the company. I am, though, a natural-born leader, but I didn't think that, I'm qualified enough because, I don't have an MBA nor a scientific background. I was like, what am I going to do as a CEO of a company? And yeah, here I am. But yeah, I think it's more about being true to yourself, how you feel like expressing yourself, and then it just organically shifts into the way that it's going to be a dynamic of the team at the table.
Right.
So yeah, like that.
Right. So it takes a bit of alignment in terms of adapting even to each other
Yes,
and
yes.
coming with the aligned goal of creating something big and cool here, right?
Absolutely.
Fantastic, fantastic. And on the final note, before moving to the next block where we'll see the scientist presentation, what will be your suggestions to entrepreneurs and scientists to make this 3 days as fun and productive, of course, as possible? What would you wish? What would be your wish to the participants?
Yeah, I would just wish to be, wish to the entrepreneurs to be open-minded and to scientists to understand that we people, we need to understand what you want, and as the best of the abilities, we are trying to, but yeah, if you're not delivering that, we just can't do it. So yeah, for entrepreneurs to be as open-minded and to take notes, because this is going to be a long day, and in the evening when you have to make the choice and you think, man, what was the first presentation? I don't remember. So yeah, the notes always help, and yeah, just actually have fun because you're in the beginning of something amazing, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say to entrepreneurs and listen to your heart feeling, listen to your heart, yes, and maybe don't look for ready solutions to be presented, but look for people you feel you could work together with, and I think that's the
Very important.
main goal.
Absolutely. Thanks, Rainy. And Nick, what will be your wish?
Yeah, just share your enthusiasm for your work, because the chances are what you're presenting is the result of a lot of years of hard work. But two things, be happy to be bombarded with lots of questions. These people just want to know things better. They're not criticizing you. And as I'm sort of thinking about it, and from an entrepreneur's point of view, be patient with the scientists, because sometimes you might need to extract the information from them eventually. But yeah, patience from an entrepreneur's point of view and from a scientist's point of view. Show your enthusiasm, share the information, and think about it as an opportunity where this could become commercialized. And the event will allow you to do something which you can't do by yourself. You're a scientist, but the platform will offer a fantastic opportunity. So, and enjoy it.
Super. All right. That was marvelous. Let's say a big thank you to our panel participants.